It all started with a boat trip. Jack and Emily, two best friends from school, were on a summer vacation with their families. One sunny morning, their fathers rented a small boat so everyone could spend a day exploring the nearby islands. The group packed lunches, sunscreen, and plenty of water. It was going to be a great day of fun and adventure. The water was calm, and the boat gently rocked as they sailed along the bright blue sea. Jack and Emily sat at the front of the boat, trying to spot dolphins. "Look! Over there!" Emily shouted, pointing to the water. Two dolphins jumped out of the waves, their sleek bodies sparkling in the sunlight. "I hope we see some more islands like this," Jack said, leaning over the edge. "Maybe even a secret one." Everything was going perfectly until dark clouds began to creep across the sky. The wind suddenly picked up, and the sea became rough. Their fathers quickly turned the boat around, trying to steer it back to shore, but the storm was faster. The rain started falling in heavy drops, and waves crashed against the side of the boat. Jack held on to the railing as the boat swung from side to side. "What do we do?" he shouted over the roaring wind. "We need to find a safe place," Emily's dad answered. In the chaos, Jack noticed an island ahead through the rain. It was surrounded by tall, jagged rocks, but looked like the only place to escape the storm. "There! An island!" he shouted, pointing. Their fathers steered the boat toward the island, guiding it carefully between the rocks. Eventually, they managed to land on a small, sandy beach. Everyone climbed out of the boat, soaking wet but grateful to be safe. "Let's wait here until the storm passes," Jack's dad suggested, pulling out raincoats from the storage box. The group huddled under a large palm tree, watching as the rain poured down. After a while, the rain stopped, and the storm clouds moved away. The afternoon sun returned, so they decided to explore the island while their clothes dried. The beach was beautiful, with soft white sand and seashells scattered everywhere. Beyond the beach was a thick jungle, filled with tall trees and the sound of singing birds. "This place looks like it's from a movie," Emily said, picking up a shiny green shell. "I've never seen anything like it." Jack looked toward the trees. "Yeah, it feels different, like a secret place no one knows about. Let's go look around." Their fathers agreed to let them explore, but only if they promised to stay together and not go too far. Jack and Emily grabbed their backpacks, filled them with snacks and bottles of water, and cautiously walked into the jungle. The jungle was dense, and the air smelled of flowers and earth. They had to push leaves and branches out of the way as they walked. Jack used a stick to clear the path, pretending to be an adventurer. "I'll protect us from wild animals," he said, waving the stick in the air. Emily laughed. "Sure, great explorer. Just don't poke me with that." As they walked further, they began to notice strange things. They found large footprints in the mud, too big to be human. What could have made these? Emily wondered, crouching down to examine them. "I don't know," Jack said, looking around nervously. "Maybe a dinosaur?" "Don't be silly. Dinosaurs are extinct," Emily responded, rolling her eyes. "But whatever it is, it must be huge." They decided to follow the footprints, which led deeper into the jungle. After a few minutes, they came across something even stranger. A small wooden chest, half buried in the ground. Jack quickly knelt down and started digging it out. "It's a treasure chest," Jack said excitedly. "I told you this place is special." Emily helped him pull it out of the dirt. The chest was very old and covered in moss. They carefully opened it, and inside they found a map. The paper was yellowed and fragile, but they could still see some faded markings. "It's a map of the island," Emily said, pointing at the drawings. "Look, there's an X marked on the other side." "Do you know what that means?" Jack asked, grinning. "Treasure!" they both shouted at the same time. Using the map, Jack and Emily tried to figure out where the treasure was hidden. The X was near a river, but they didn't see any water nearby. They decided to keep walking and look for any signs of a stream or river. They climbed over fallen trees and crossed areas full of ferns. Finally, they heard the sound of running water. "That must be the river," Emily said. The map showed that they needed to follow the river until they reached a large rock shaped like a triangle. After about 20 minutes, they found it. The rock was covered in vines, but its pointy shape matched the drawing perfectly. "We're close," Jack said. "The treasure must be nearby." The map showed the treasure buried at the base of the triangular rock. They grabbed 2 large sticks and began digging up the ground. The soil was soft and easy to move, and soon they hit something hard. "It's a box," Emily said, her eyes lighting up. They worked together to pull the box out of the ground. It was much larger than the first chest, and it was made of iron. The lock was rusty but still held firm. Luckily, Emily had a paperclip in her bag. "Where did you learn how to do this?" Jack asked as Emily bent the paperclip. "From a video on the internet," she said with a grin. "Let's hope it works." After a few tries, the lock clicked open. Jack slowly lifted the lid, and together they looked inside. The box wasn't full of gold or jewels as they had expected. Instead, it was filled with old books, papers, and strange tools that neither of them recognized. One book was titled The Journal of Captain Blackthorne. Jack opened it and began to read. Captain Blackthorne was an explorer, he said excitedly. He discovered this island 200 years ago. He wrote that he found something amazing here, something that could change the world. Emily took another book and flipped through it. "Look at this," she said, pointing to a sketch of a strange machine. It looked like a mix between a clock and a telescope. There were notes written all around it. "What is it?" Jack asked, leaning over. "I don't know," Emily said, "but maybe this is what Captain Blackthorne was talking about." Just as they were examining the items, they heard a loud noise from the jungle. It sounded like heavy footsteps. Emily quickly closed the box, and they both froze. "What was that?" Jack whispered nervously. The footsteps grew louder, and before they knew it, a large figure stepped out of the bushes. It was a giant bird. It looked like an ostrich but bigger, with blue feathers and sharp claws. The bird blinked at them, then let out a low squawk. "Don't move," Emily whispered. "I think it's a dodo." "A dodo? That's impossible. They're extinct," Jack replied. "Well, apparently not," Emily said, trying to stay calm. The bird tilted its head, watching them curiously. Then, to their surprise, it simply walked away into the jungle. Jack let out a breath. "I can't believe it. A real dodo. It must have survived here, hidden from the rest of the world." "And if there are dodos," Emily said, "who knows what else is on this island?" Realizing it was getting late, Jack and Emily decided to return to their families on the beach. They carefully carried the heavy box between them, still in shock from everything they had discovered. When they arrived back, their parents were relieved to see them. "Where have you been?" their fathers asked. "We've been looking for you." "You won't believe this," Jack said as they opened the chest. They showed their parents the books and explained everything they had found. But when they reached the part about the dodo, their dads just laughed. "A dodo? Are you sure?" Jack's dad asked. "That sounds a little unbelievable." "But it's true," Emily insisted. "We saw it with our own eyes." Their parents didn't believe them, but it didn't matter. Jack and Emily knew what they had seen. They looked at each other and smiled, keeping the rest of the island's secrets to themselves. As the sun began to set, the families boarded the boat and set off for home. Jack and Emily sat quietly at the back, looking at the island as it disappeared into the distance. "Do you think we'll ever come back?" Jack asked. Emily held up the journal of Captain Blackthorne with a grin. "I think we'll have to,"